Mike versus the world decision. The Clemson Tigers can win the national championship in 2022. I tell you summarily, Mike, there is no chance in hell that is going to happen. There's just too much other talent around Clemson that they're not going to be able to pull off wins against either Alabama, Georgia. Tennessee's not looking too bad at this point either, right? There's no way. Ohio State, there's no way they're going to be able to win a national championship. Now, could they make some noise? Could they get to the game? Sure, probably, but there's just too much other talent. This is less about Clemson than the talent around them this year. Clemson's playing okay. I don't think they're lighting anything on fire. Who's their quarterback? Is it DJU? Is it Clay Klubnik? We don't really know week to week. DJU has been a bit of a disappointment. I think Clemson is okay. I think they certainly have some talent, but I'll take Ohio State. I'll take Alabama. I'll take Georgia. Heck, I might take Tennessee over Clemson. So this is an easy one for me. I mean, I can't take, if it's Clemson versus the field, you got to give me the field in this one.
Yeah, the field's always good to take, but I'll tell you why Clemson can win it all is simply because this isn't a special year when it comes to national championship teams. We don't have a defense that we've never seen before like Georgia. We don't have an Alabama team that nobody could stop. We don't have an Ohio State team with Urban Meyer. We have very good football teams. Don't get me wrong. Tennessee's good. Well, Urban Meyer won a national championship with Ohio State, so he's a pretty good coach, even though he's a scumbag. But Clemson has as much talent on their roster as any of these teams you're talking about. They tend to peak at the right time. They didn't look good against Syracuse, but they came back and won that game. And I'll tell you what. Dabo Swinney, pulling DJ in that third quarter is a very ballsy move. We see, James Franklin being like married to, Sean Clifford. We see Michigan being married to a certain type of offense, and if they fall behind, they can't change things. Dabo doesn't care. Dabo benched, Kelly Bryant for Trevor Lawrence. He is willing to bench DJ if he has to for Klubnik. This defense is very good. They're starting to come together. They've had a lot of injuries. Brian Brzee missing time, hurt. And they've beaten some good football teams. I mean, they've beaten top 25 football teams. You look at it right now, okay? Florida State's been in the top 25. Syracuse is currently in the top 25. NC State's currently in the top 25. Wake Forest currently in the top 25. As far as I could tell, as far as I remember. That's 4 top 25 teams this team has beaten. And Tennessee is going to either win against Georgia or lose. If they lose, they're kind of out.
That's how that works.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how it works. Alabama, is going to get to the SEC championship game. And then if they win, obviously they're in. But you're going to have 2 SEC teams that I think Clemson matches up okay against. And that's Georgia and Alabama. I don't think Tennessee.
But see, okay doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies that I'm going to win a title. Okay means, hey, I may be in the game, but okay doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies.
So there's weaknesses on these other football teams. Okay,
there's weaknesses on Clemson too, though.
Okay, Alabama's not who they used to be. Georgia plays sometimes down, and they don't have the defense that they had last season. Tennessee is not there yet when it comes to knowing how to win at the playoff level. And Ohio State still waiting for a couple defensive, poor games. Their offense looks great, but what I'm saying is this isn't as special a field as we've seen in the past.
Yeah,
you've got a great coach.
Sound argument, yeah.
You have a great coach, and you have a great defense.
Yeah.
Why are you agreeing with me? What are you doing?
Well, because all you're doing is telling me that, like, hey, anything can happen, which is spoiler alert, water's also wet. But here's the other thing: do you trust DJU not to throw the ball to the team in the other jersey? And we talk about Kate Klubnik. How many passes did he throw? Was it 2?
No, 4. He completed
4.
2.
So he's 2 or 4 in the year, and DJU can't not throw the ball to the other team. Look, I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm not saying they can't get to the Final Four. I'm not saying they can't even get to the national championship game, because I agree there's going to be some attrition as the SEC teams battle each other. There's going to be some cannibalization, but I still think whatever those SEC teams lines up, and then there's Ohio State, Michigan. I don't want to do Michigan, but I think that's a toss-up game. Like I don't know. Jim Harbaugh runs that thing down someone's throat. He gets a lucky throw here and there.
The strength of the Clemson defense is their front 7. I mean, they're going to be able to stop the run. And Jim Harbaugh can't adapt. So let's not even put Michigan in there.
But it's still not. That's a toss-up.
Whatever. And this Alabama team doesn't have any swagger. Like I said, this
But
Tennessee
Nick
team
Saban.
has a great offense, but they got a horrible
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah.
So give me a reason other than, you seem to be stuck on quarterback.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't trust DJ. As last I checked, the quarterback has the ball on, I believe, every play,
Well,
especially on
Stetson Bennett
offense.
won a national championship last year. He's
You
not
sure
really
did,
that
but he also
special.
didn't throw the ball to the other team. Like, and DJU has
And how
not been
many times has
consistent.
done that? You're
He did
crazy.
it like 3 times against Syracuse last week alone.
Not twice, and he had a fumble. But his statistics. He's thrown 4 interceptions this season. He's extremely efficient with
You
the
trust
football.
him in a
He's
big
not a
moment. You trust
turnover.
DJ in a big moment.
No, I trust his team.
Dabo didn't trust him
his
against
coach.
Syracuse.
Like
you trust him in a big moment against Ohio State. You're like, you know what? Here we go. 2-minute drive. DJU's coming out. Here we go. I don't know.
I don't think they have to get into his 2-minute drive situation. I think this team can just sort of. I think this team as a whole is starting to come together and peak at the right time. I know Syracuse was a difficult game. That's a difficult team. Very good defense. Miles Murphy is starting to dominate from the defensive end side. They got Brzee back. They got receivers that are actually now stepping up as wide receiver ones. The running game starting to blossom with Will Shipley. DJ, he's a little bit erratic, and that's going to be an issue. But he can also piece together a tremendous game, as we saw against NC State, as we saw against Wake Forest, as we saw against some other teams. I'm just saying that the scariest team for me, if I'm Clemson, it's not Alabama. Been there, done that. We've proven that we can beat them, and I know it's different rosters, but Dabo is not afraid of Saban. Okay. It's not Georgia, because I really don't think Georgia matches up that well with Clemson. I think they match up, but if your strength of your team is a pro-style offense, Clemson can handle that. It's Ohio State I'd be worried about, with them being able to spread the field, the passing game. They've had some back-end issues, but in a national championship game against Ohio State, I think Clemson absolutely has a chance. I think they can run the ball against that defense. And I think if DJ doesn't turn the ball over, which you're talking about like he's a turnover machine. I mean, 4 interceptions all season. He's not.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm reading this screen. It doesn't say, does Clemson maybe have a chance on the field Ohio? That's not what the question is. The question is, can they win it all? Everybody has a chance.
Okay, well, they can.
I don't think they can win it all. I don't think they can win it all. They have a chance.
I was hoping you would bring up the lack of competition in the ACC, but you didn't fall for that. Why? Why didn't you fall for that? Because I had a rebut for that.
I mean, do you want me to?
No, it's too late now.
I do think it's soft, by the way. I do think it's soft, by the way. But
okay, well,
but it's not. That's not the reason. But my stance on that is you only play who's in front of you. Like I don't want to knock Clemson for that. I'm just saying I think the other teams that are potentially on the other side of that bracket have all have strengths, and if you put them in a neutral site game, I think there's a lot of option where you go, hey, Ohio State can probably beat Clemson. Hey, I think Alabama, it is Nick Saban. He'll figure something out. He always does, right? Georgia, we didn't think they had a great offense last year. They figured it out when they want to. Tennessee, wild card. Could they actually put up 50 points and hold somebody to 30 and win a title? I mean, stranger things have happened, Mike. So I'm not. This isn't a Clemson bash session. It's much more so. If you ask me who can win a title between Clemson and Michigan, that's a better debate to have, right? But you're giving me everybody else out there. I'd be a fool. I'd be a fool.
No, you would be a fool. Absolutely. And if you did say Clemson could, I would probably pick them apart as well. But I just think that this Clemson team just keeps winning. They just keep winning. They never seem to have, down year is 11-3. Dabo's one of the best coaches in college football, honestly, in recent history, of course, but he keeps showing that he's a great coach and an in-game adjustment type of coach. I think people are sleeping on Clemson because of the ACC thing, because of the focus on the SEC. I'm not predicting Clemson's going to win a national championship. I did predict it when Deshaun Watson was there that particular year when they beat Alabama. I'm not predicting.
Let me get my almanac out, Mike. How many years ago was that?
But I will tell you this. I think Clemson's going to run the table, and they can certainly win the national championship. But there's no team here, no team that I can see, maybe Ohio State, that they don't match up well with. So I'm going to go Clemson. You have an opportunity to win this national championship. And there's one AP voter who agrees with me who had them number 1 in the country. So how about that?
So there's multiple idiots out there. That's fantastic.
Yes, more than just me. All right, now Clemson's going to prove a point to you. Now I'm going to bring this back. You don't bet against.
They don't have to prove anything to me. I have nothing against Clemson. I just don't think when you add up all the other teams that they're going to be the one that stands. Anything is possible, but if you're asking me to put like percentages on it, I think they have the lowest percentage of the teams that we've mentioned so far between Georgia, Alabama.
Who do you have winning it? Just curious.
I need. I'm gonna go Ohio
I'm going
State.
to put you on the spot because I'm going on the spot with Clemson here. I'm not picking them, but I'm saying like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
you
go.
think
I'm
the
gonna go
best
Ohio State.
opportunity is like, okay.
I'm
And
gonna go
what
Ohio
are the
State.
weaknesses of Ohio State? Do you see any weaknesses there?
I mean, I don't like their defense. I mean, they've certainly haven't been as stout on D as I would like, but they can score so quickly, Mike. They can score in bunches. If they get a couple lucky stops, God forbid, they tip a ball at the line of scrimmage and get an interception, and they flip the field on you. I mean, can you come back against them? Can you match firepower with firepower? I think they have too many weapons. They need to get healthy. I will say that they need to make sure they get healthy, but they have too many weapons, I think, for a team to keep up with them.
They might not even make the playoffs if they lose to Michigan.
Well, that's a possibility.
And Clemson's not going to lose another football game. So I'm pretty much got the one team. I can guarantee you right now that one of these SEC teams is going to be in the playoff. Of course, Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. Probably two of them.
Probably more than one. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 out of 3, more likely. I can also guarantee you Clemson's going to be there too. I can't guarantee you Ohio State's going to be there. I can't guarantee you Michigan's going to be there. So I've got a head start already that we're already in the playoff.
Congrats. Do they hand out trophies for that?
Doesn't matter. You get there and you can win it all, and that's what I'm saying. Clemson can win it all.
Yeah, maybe.